Album review. Today's album is My Dear Melancholy by The Weeknd. I'm joined today by Aidan.
Yes.
Myself, Denver. Joe.
Hello.
And Will.
Ahoy, hoy.
Oh.
Oh, do you like that?
Hoy,
Yeah,
hoy,
that was
hoy.
good. That was good.
Hi, hi.
Joe's just racist.
Yes. So, fuck's sake, I thought this album was good. I don't think it was amazing.
Immediate
start.
laughter.
Laughing already.
What you said, the
No.
word good is so funny. It's such a funny word.
Yeah,
apparently
sorry.
so.
It's just you. You're the most entertaining member.
Oh, clearly. That's why everyone loves talking over me all the time.
Sorry, Will.
I like The Weeknd, and
Same.
I like a lot of his singles.
Oh,
and,
sorry, you're the artist.
Fuck's
Don't-
sake,
don't
such a
give
bad
him-
joke.
Don't give him the satisfaction of laughing at that shit. That was awful.
However, I don't think this is his strongest album, and I don't know. It's very. I think with The Weeknd, it's like you either like love him or you don't like him, because I think his voice is one of them where it was like I say, just I think you have to be in a particular mood as well to listen to The Weeknd. Like you can't just. I think it'd be weird if some of his music came on in the club. Well, there's some of them are like proper dancey, but I don't know. I think for me, I can only really listen to him like when I'm kind of doing nothing.
Would you dance to that, Will? How would you dance to that?
Not to any of the stuff on this album, but there
right,
is
okay,
like
that makes more sense. It'd be a very
like on
seductive dance, wasn't
Starboy.
it?
There's quite a lot of like rocking. Like Starboy being his other album, that is, I much prefer that album.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we doing Starboy?
No, I'm just saying like he has
Not
got
on
some
this-
songs
not on
that you
this
can
album.
dance to, but just this album is like a very much chilled out kind of
I'd have
spacey.
sex to this album.
Well,
Well, that is kind of the Weeknd's thing, isn't it? He's like very
What, having sex?
no. He just like if you listen to all
Just
the
loves
lyrics,
banging.
if you listen to the lyrics,
Don't
that's
listen to
literally what
lyrics.
the majority of his songs are about. Aidan will probably have noticed that it's just all very
Hayden will have
Like-
hated it then.
Now
Aidan
they're all sex
specifically-
references,
sexy,
and I don't get them.
sexy music. So
Sexy music.
sexy music, but I still think the album's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think any of the songs are bad, but I think it's just one of. It's not great in my opinion because, well, not like great because you just have to be in the right mood. Whereas I think like the best albums, you can kind of listen to it in any scenario. Maybe that's wrong, but the worst for me was Privilege. I just thought it was the weakest one, and I don't think a lot happens in that. Whereas all the other ones I kind of remember, like
Okay.
I remember every other song, but that one I just doesn't seem to have clicked or whatever. Just don't remember it that well. Top three, Wasted Times. Can't really remember why actually. Oh no, I just think I like the chorus, and I just think I don't know, that one you probably could dance to that one, but not. I don't know. But in general, I think I'd find it hard to talk about this album because there's just as much as I like it, there's not a lot about it at the same time. Like I don't
Sure.
think there's too much to talk about it.
They're
It's
very,
got
they're very
obviously a
similar
very-
songs, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very similar, but I think the number one definitely stands out above the rest. But second for me, which was probably the biggest surprise, was I Was Never There. I actually really like that song. I feel like that might be some people's worst, but I think it's just a bit different to all the rest. Don't particularly like Hurt You, even though that one did quite well on this album. But number one for me, by a long way, was Call Out My Name. I think that's by far the best song on the album. Don't get me wrong, I think he's got a great voice.
But the
Um,
a cappella version, right?
But the a cappella version is also really
It
sick.
is kind of cool. I like how yeah.
It kind of shows how good his voice is. But again, I suppose it's if you like that kind of thing as well, because it's very. What's the word? It's just
Ambient.
yeah, very like every song he does is very high pitch and
Very
just-
reverby.
Yeah, but I really like him. But this album for me is just a bit. It's good. Don't get me. It's better than just average. I think it's a lot better average, but I just don't think it's like a great album. And there's not that much to remember from it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
But I still quite like it.
One thing I would like to bring up though is how you've
Go for
gamed
it.
the system with this pick, because it's an EP.
No, it's not.
But
It's an EP.
it's an EP. Then they added the same song twice, and it became an album.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So because on mine it says EP, and I said this to Aidan. Aidan's like, "No, it says album." I'm like, "No, it says EP." And we looked at
So
it.
it's the
because
acapella version.
he's added the
Call Out My
acapella,
Name.
and it made it become an album.
You wouldn't believe that argument went on for 7 hours, would you?
No,
Really?
it was just
Yeah,
both
come
of
on.
us-
What we'll do is we'll go back to the McDonald's thing and we'll have a 7-hour gap.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
I didn't realise that actually. But it's on the album section. We'll just count it as one.
Yeah,
So-
No,
it says album.
what you picked is album, but it's like it's gamed it. The Weeknd has gamed it.
Then the issue is I don't think I counted the acapella as an actual song.
No, I don't think any of us did. But
So
it's an
not
So
EP,
we're-
really. So it's a cheaty album. Therefore, new pick. Will let's undo.
No.
redo it.
let's redo a whole week.
Reverse
and a half. No, I think no. We've got to class it as an album, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just because we don't class
Yeah.
like the little intermissions and stuff as songs doesn't mean they aren't part of the album, really. But we obviously there's not much point us talking about them because they're kind of set. But it is an album, so go fuck yourself. Love you.
I mean, it isn't.
It is.
I mean, this is.
Yeah,
But it
this
is.
The
It's a weird one,
Weeknd's
isn't it?
gamed it to obviously
I think
get
we've
on
got to
album
class it
review.
as. Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what we
realise
wanted.
the dude from the Weeknd, the Weeknd, he has a cool afro at the minute.
Mr. The Weeknd.
Sorry,
Yeah, he has
Mr.
a really
Weeknd,
cool
sir.
afro at the minute.
Please.
He used to have that. He used to have that like weird Chicken Run hair. You remember that movie Chicken Run? Like
Yeah.
he had the like hairstyle from
Hang
that
on a minute.
movie.
Was that the movie with chickens in it?
I mean, that's the hairstyle I want.
Yes. And now
to
he's got a really
barbershop.
cool afro.
Walks into barbers.
Yeah, it's gone very
can I
like
do for
Bruno
you?
Mars.
You see there the movie
Yeah.
Chicken Run? Say no more, fam.
And he just the Weeknd.
Do you know, I like that joke, but it can't be used
It now can't.
because
sadly.
there was two conversations going on at the same time.
It's all good. I'll say it again. So... no, I can't. Fuck me. Can't just reuse a joke
Hang
when
on.
someone fucks it.
It's like
I
trying
can't,
to
I
remember what
can't.
was last said when I can cut it in nicely.
There we go. I'm so good at this.
Oh god. Hang on, say about his hair again, Joe.
So he's got hair.
Yeah, let's not do it. It's gonna be impossible to seamlessly cut it.
So anyway, I walk into the barbers and I say, "Fuck me up, fam," and he says, "You seen the movie Chicken Run?"
For fuck's sake, stop.
The Weeknd.
It's like, oh, I've just seen a fantastic film. You see a film Chicken Run?
I really like their hair.
I
I
want to
think it's
look.
made by the guys who made Wallace and Gromit, you know.
I want to look like that guy.
I bet those chickens are up to something.
And he'd say, "Oh, do you mean the man from Chicken Run?" No, the chickens.
No.
Chicken, please. This is such a shit bit.
It works beautifully. I'll do my magic and cut it together. It'll all be fine.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. It'll be alright.
Are you done, Will?
Mm-hmm.
You done well.
I ain't got a lot
So
more
we
to
can-
say.
So we
Put
can
that.
shit on this album.
So, are you ready?
Yeah, you're probably gonna. But first is 2 new songs, Aidan. One
I mean,
called
you're-
"Blinding Lights" is
Yeah.
very 80s, and you might quite like that.
I know what the song is. I am forced to listen to the radio every day at work.
Does it go? A blinding lights of watching you.
Oh, it's like Hall and Oates.
Yes.
I thought that was a musical, like Grease.
Ah, can't go with a
No.
bit of Hall and Oates.
Fucking, we need a Hall and Oates album.
Yeah, but we listened to their albums before, didn't we? And it's like, oh, they're good. They have one good song in an album of 26 songs.
Yeah, but
Jesus.
But in fairness, that's like That's like a lot of those
lot of it,
older sort of
yeah.
bands.
Just-
Yeah.
They didn't like curate. They just. I've come up with 26 songs and put them all on this album. It was basically what albums were back in those days.
Pretty much, yeah. It was less about actually making good music and more about throwing enough shit at a wall until something sticks.
And had a couple of good singles that would cause people to get the album. Whereas nowadays, I feel like people do have to make a good album because people will just pick the songs off it they like rather than
Exactly.
forcing themselves to listen to them all.
And not only that,
yeah.
they're not forced and being told what they like.
I wouldn't say it's like natural to like listen to a whole album. Like people always just listen to kind of singles, don't they?
These days,
I disagree.
yes.
Well, sorry, Will disagrees.
Also, Captain disagree. Do you want to say that again?
But maybe like I listen to whole albums like when they first come out.
Thanks, Will.
When we do album review.
Yeah, but that's
before
for
even
someone
before
you
we do
like.
album review.
Like, do you ever like hear one single and then of someone you like, and then go immediately? I'm going to listen to their
But
entire
the thing
album.
is, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
Will
do,
is the
actually.
kind of guy that would do that.
Will is
Yeah.
that weird guy.
I'm
It's
just
just
saying,
that guy.
it's not like it's not the meta. You know, it's not the meta
No,
to
it's
do
not.
that. I
It's not the
wouldn't say.
mainstream.
No.
No, probably not.
It's a bit like the
But I-
Frank and Left strat on
Because they have
Artyom.
they actually talked about albums not being a thing anymore soon, haven't they? Which
Well-
would completely fuck us up. Like,
No,
Shit,
it's
they're
like
banning
Zed-
albums.
No, it's
Career
like
over.
Zed said that. Like that's why he hasn't made an album. He just prefers just to keep making singles.
Fucking
yeah,
boys.
there's a lot of artists now that like are saying that they don't really want to make
We-
albums anymore.
Is the final boss of our life Simon Cowell, as we're trying desperately to fight albums staying in?
But then
Yeah.
what will it become then? It'll be like artist review, and we'll just be like, let's pick the 10 most popular songs by this artist.
Single
Then
review.
it'll all be great.
No, we just stop in protest, and then there'd be an outcry because we've stopped.
Yeah,
It'll
or
It'll be
eight
so
people.
popular that people will make
Yeah.
albums for album review.
Yeah, literally. Anyway,
Yes.
who is it? It's Joe, isn't it?
Hello. So this album, very airy album. All the songs were very airy. They had a very airy voice. It's very airy in general. Lots of air.
You're really selling this to me.
Thank you.
Because as
Uh,
a human, I do need to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, we do love air.
Mm.
If you think about it, people. No, it doesn't matter.
No, I want to hear it now.
I was about to say, like, you know, I've been trying to think of like business ideas.
Guys, I
like-
got 2 victory royales before this.
Can
On
you
four.
Right.
fuck off? Joe's speaking.
Who gives a fuck? Legit.
Who do you think you are?
Sorry, I just
You
thought.
won a game of
know.
Fortnite.
Yeah, 2 in a row. I couldn't believe
Right,
it.
again, don't give a fuck.
Why? Can you build?
Sorry, Joe. This is how it feels.
Right.
Sorry, I just wanted to get stabbed there. With you. Go on.
Well, I
So-
think you'll find me and Joe are the comeback
Fuck
kings
my
on what's the game mode, Joe?
Gunfight.
Gunfight. We
We have to lose 3 rounds, and then the minute we lose 3 rounds in a row, we win.
literally.
Nice.
No. It's not even 3 rounds in a row. It's just we have to be
Just
at
have to
least
be
3
down by 3.
down.
Or we don't win. It's mathematically impossible.
Like we were 4-1 down, and then we went on to win 5 in a row and won.
Yeah. On Call of Duty.
It's
Yeah, sometimes I'm there as well, but you know, it's cool.
yes, but that
we don't-
that comeback rule doesn't apply when you're there. We
No,
just play
because we
better.
always win anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Back to the
Also,
album.
Will's not involved in this, sadly.
Yeah, fuck you, Will.
That's because it's 3v3 and we picked the best 3.
Ooh,
Oh,
he's just had 2 victory royales.
Yeah, but that's because
On
of building in it.
Fortnite?
There's no building in
That
COD.
is, there's no building in COD. You're right, unless you count portable
I was
cover.
gonna say unless you count, but you can't get that in gunfight.
no.
Just watch me. I'm gonna fucking mod the game. My dad owns Nintendo.
Oh, he's gonna dox you. Anyway,
What?
but I don't know. back to the album. Don't worry about my business idea. We'll fly past that.
Oh, go on, business idea. I'm ready for it.
All right,
Go
fine.
on.
I've been thinking like lately. I've been like, you know, you get a good business when you sell something that people need, right? So like, it's like,
Wow.
it's
Business 101 with Joe Midwood.
Well, I mean, like you don't need a guitar, but guitars. You know,
Boy, will Joe buy 5.
but you do need like
Shampoo.
Shampoo. Great business. What about like what you do?
Amenities.
I feel like Joe's watched one of these business inspirational videos.
Yeah, because it's literally I heard this like 2 months ago on a podcast.
I legit haven't heard that.
I heard it, but it was on Rick and Morty when Jerry was trying to sell apples.
Amenities
yeah.
are always going to like
Anyway,
sell way better than anything else because people need them.
Yeah, me and Will
Sell-
do business management. Don't know if you knew that.
Sell-
Yeah.
Sell air,
Right.
Sell air.
like oxygen.
Fucking hell, really?
To who?
Is this all it was?
People need oxygen.
Is this what it was all? Oh,
Is this
God.
where the joke went? We waited 10
Yeah.
minutes for that joke.
Yeah.
What was I saying? It was airy. that's where the joke stemmed. So yeah. The thing is with this album is I didn't not enjoy it. I enjoyed listening to the album, but not to a certain degree where I thought I'd ever listen to it again. So
So
like
what
it was
kind
all
of
just
degrees
kind of.
would you say?
Is it third?
Third degrees.
Third.
Well,
degree.
I didn't know. Off like third degree burn or
Third degree burns. Yeah.
right. That's quite bad. That's quite an intense album then. I thought you were gonna
Isn't
say
that-
more like.
Don't you die from that one?
It's just the only burn that I know. Is that others? Second.
Hey,
is there
Siri.
second degree burns?
Do you die from a third degree burn?
It
No.
sounds like talking with someone might help. Would you like me to search the web for NHS suicide prevention?
As if you talked to Siri
No.
when you're on fire. Siri, I am currently
No, did you hear what he
third-degree
said?
burns.
It's like
Will I
sending you to,
die?
Like a suicide.
feels like
prevention
you need to
line.
talk
You
to
guys
someone.
started speaking over it. He started talking about. Did you want me to call a suicide prevention?
What?
Because that's how I'm going to fucking kill myself. I'm
said-
just going to light myself on
I
fire.
said, "Do you die from a third degree burn?" And it's like sounds like talking to someone will help. Would you like to call suicide prevention?
That's good that it has that, but I don't think anyone's setting themselves on fire. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
That is
Maybe
a
that's the
hardcore
way.
way of suicide.
It would be.
Yeah,
Like-
it totally is. Like,
I'm gonna make my death as slow as possible.
That is painful.
God,
Right,
can you
anyway.
imagine drowning? Fucking hell.
I feel
I
like
don't
drowning
know.
would be one of the easier ways.
I think that'd be the
to die.
worst. I couldn't think.
Would it though? Because at least you'd know it would be happening, but at least you couldn't do anything to stop it. Whereas
Yeah.
when you're on fire, you could be stood next to a pond, and you'd be like, "Oh, all I have to do is not jump in this pond."
Yeah, like
And
to
wait
stop
about
yourself, you'd
10
have to set yourself
minutes.
on fire and tie yourself to something. Whereas if you tie a log to yourself and you're sinking, yeah, you're gonna hate it, but you are gonna die. You could survive the burns.
Yeah, and that would be much worse.
Yeah, that's why nobody does that as a way of suicide.
So
That's the
what we've learned today: fire, not effective suicide.
No.
And that Joe gave this album third degree burns.
No.
Fucking wow, that's a quote for the title.
Sauced it all over. Sauced it. Okay.
So third
So-
degree.
What I mean is that all the none of the songs were like amazingly rememberable, and what I mean is I only remember my favorite. The others I don't really remember all that much, to be honest. I think the production was really good. Like whoever produced all this was wicked. Like it was really good. And I think I don't think he's a bad vocalist either, but just none of like the melodies kind of like got me, you know. I never thought, oh, that's nice, except for the first song, my favorite song. So
Someone
know-
typing something there.
sounds like someone's coding the Matrix.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out who does his production.
Oh, that's cute.
Anyway, least favorite song was Privilege. Honestly, we did it that long ago. I can't remember why.
This is becoming a theme, and it really should.
Yeah. It's probably because I didn't think any of the songs were bad in particular.
Why didn't you re-listen to it again before we?
I was going to
did.
say we're
I
we're professional now.
I listened to it earlier. Anyway, all I know is that I didn't really think any of the songs were massively bad. I think Privilege was probably just the least memorable out of all of them, in my opinion. But I'm sure that could quite easily be swapped for the non-memorable song. Again, not bad, just can't remember it. So there you go. And I did this review. Oh god, I did this review very early on. So yeah, there you go.
You need to write better notes then.
I do. Yeah, you're right. I just put the names and that's it.
Yeah, you need actual
Un-
wordy notes.
Unless I'm like really passionate about an album. If I'm really passionate about an album, I'll like proper go in depth. But if it's like this where I'm just like, it was all right. Then I don't really do anything. Anyway, third favorite was Wasted Times. Yep, that was a song. Second favorite was Hurt You. Now, Hurt You, I actually do remember that a little bit, and yeah, that one was all right. I'd listen to that. That's not bad. And then the best song by far, and I'll be very surprised if this isn't like everyone's favorite, is Call Out My Name. And now that is the only song that I'd heard previously to the rest to the rest of the songs. I hadn't heard them before. I'd heard that song before plenty of times, and yeah, he's got a good voice in that, hasn't he? He actually uses his voice to an extent where it impressed me. And I was like, yeah, this guy's got a decent voice. Likes it. It's all very high pitched, but it's all right. Album review. That's it.
Thank you, Joe.
No worries.
So you'd say it was quite airy.
Quite airy.
Also known as boring.
Ooh,
Oh, hit straight in there.
That
fucking.
Billie Eilish
jab
is
on
airy.
that. Well,
Yeah,
again,
I like
I
that.
would stand by that statement.
So
Ooh, damn
here's
on
what
that.
I have to say about it. I didn't like it at all. I thought every song was boring. It was like I didn't like his style of the songs or voice. It's like it feels like fake emotion. Like it
Or
feels like
emotion,
someone's
for
gone,
sure.
make it deep and meaningful, and he's gone, okay, I can do that. And it just, I don't know. I just didn't feel the vibe of the song. So even the ones that are trying to sound like airy and epic, I just don't connect with it. And I feel like his voice is a bit sheepish, a bit like Post Malone, but like with a bit like that, bit sheepy.
Sure. But like more high pitched.
Yes, it doesn't. But you're sort of going for that vibe, and I didn't like it at all. To the point where I listened to all of them, and I was like, "Yeah, I kind of don't like any of them." But the worst one I picked because it had a extra whiny intro was "I Was Never There." Was the worst song for the extra whininess, and the rest of them was just really a lottery. Because they all, I would go flip one to the other and be like, I don't know if this is worse or better. Like
You
it
were
would have,
picking the lesser of several evils.
it was like it would have one better bit in it, but then I hate that bit. But I ended up going with third place, Privilege, second, Wasted Times, and Hurt You at number one.
Fuck me, you're just rattling through them. You got any notes on any of those?
Not any of that. Well, no, because my notes were generally
It just says
any.
shit.
It just says any order,
It's a large piece of paper that says the word shit on it.
and I didn't like Call Out My Name was the only song I knew, and even then I'm like, yeah, I didn't like this before. I still don't like it now.
See, I don't know. It's just it surprises me how much you hated it.
Because and then when I was going through, I was like, I literally preferred some of Joe's metal albums to this album, and I was like,
I'll take that as a compliment.
so I must quite dislike this album, and I couldn't even appreciate because some of these, because this is sort of things happened before, but I'm like, I can appreciate good vocalists, just don't like the songs. I mean, he could be a good vocalist, but I hate the sound of his voice. I hate his vocals, so I can't even say that he's a good vocalist.
How does the music make you feel?
Like I want to turn it off.
Hmm.
Like I
But
want.
how does that make you feel? We're in therapy now.
Makes me feel airy.
Turned on.
Someone should sell that.
Because at least with Joe's, like, here's the thing, because I kept comparing it to, is it worse than some of Joe's metal stuff? And I was like, well, with some of Joe's metal stuff, you could like take out the screamo and it would sound kind of cool without the screamo. Whereas you could take out his voice and it was even extra boring. So yeah.
So it still adds something, but it doesn't add what you want it to add.
Yeah.
It's like sand in a bit of bread.
Is that an
Like-
analogy?
You're like, I'm adding something, but it didn't make it any better.
Yeah, but sand in the bread would make
Yeah,
it
but-
really
yeah, but-
bad.
Yeah, but like if you remove the bread, all you've got is sand, and then now you don't want to eat the sand.
Some people might like sand in bread.
Did you hear
Well, of
about
course
those?
they do. They named it the sandwich.
Hear about those guys that made the
True.
Earth sandwich?
Yeah, I
That-
did hear about
I've not.
that, yeah.
I've not heard about that. Please tell me.
So these like university students, one in like Australia and one in Spain, worked
Yeah.
out the exact longitude and latitude for opposite ends of the Earth and just placed a loaf of bread on the ground and was like,
yeah.
Earth sandwich.
Earth is now a
Really?
sandwich.
Yeah.
That's really
Speaking-
cool.
Speaking of well, since we're on the food tangent now, and I am
Yeah.
a fat cretin, one thing that I was thinking of is like, could we as a collective, us four, feasibly create either the best or the worst flavor of ice cream? Like, so what do you reckon would be best or worst ice cream that you could possibly imagine making?
Best or worst?
Yeah, so like if you were going for either, I mean, it's whatever. What would you want to see as an
Worst
ice
would
cream?
be like, you know, have you ever like licked metal?
Iron.
What?
So like the taste of blood,
so like,
blood
yeah,
flavor.
the taste of blood. Yeah.
I see. I like the taste of blood.
That
Oh,
tastes of
okay.
iron.
That sounded really creepy.
Weird
No, you know when you get like a cut on your finger and you like suck the blood out, like that's not bad.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, you're weird.
That is
You ever
weird.
like
Am I
cut
the only
your
one
lip
that does that?
or cut your tongue and all you can taste is blood because your tongue's bleeding?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
like that.
That's psychotic, Joe.
It's not.
I know Joe was a
it's not-
vampire.
Definitely not the only one that does that.
Sick burn, by the way, Will.
I know,
Anyway.
I'm full of them.
I would say,
Joe
like,
just
you
likes
know,
to
like
go to
a-
blood tests just so he can
Mm.
like, oh, give us a capsule.
Little
It sneaks
mate.
into the back room where they keep all of everyone else's blood, and it's just like
It's like when you hand over your form for what's it for, it just says, one for me.
I would say the worst taste ice cream, like rusted metal. I would imagine
okay.
ice cream licking that
I feel like
constantly.
that wouldn't taste that bad though. I feel like shit
It'd be more the
flavoured,
texture.
literal
Well, no, because there are
shit-flavoured
people-
ice cream.
You forget, Will. There are people that would eat that.
Yeah, but there's
People
people who
eat
eat anything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think I might have the combination that no one would want.
Okay, go for it.
Go on,
Are you ready?
go
Yep.
on.
You sat down. Let me just get in real close here.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Oh, okay.
Toothpaste and orange juice.
That sounds all right.
That's like minty orange. That sounds alright.
Yeah.
Have you
No.
guys ever drank
No,
orange juice
yes,
after
you're
having
on about
toothpaste?
having orange juice after having done your teeth, and it's disgusting. It somehow makes it really bitter.
I'll tell you what, having anything after brushing your teeth is disgusting though. Like doing anything. Like, can you
I
imagine
agree.
eating like a sandwich after brushing your teeth? No one doesn't want some minty lettuce.
I'll tell you what is nice after brushing your teeth. Mouthwash.
Nice.
That's genius.
That thing you
Never-
swallow.
Never done that.
Introducing from consistently trash mouthwash flavored ice cream. I don't know.
I
It's to have after your toothpaste and orange
It's
ice
just
cream.
vanilla
But
ice cream,
before-
but coated
Before the
in...
metal ice cream.
What you do is you have your toothpaste ice cream, but then you've got the mouthwash on the side, and you use that as the drink to gush it down.
It's not a fucking like tequila shot. You don't eat a grub. Eat my ice cream, then do a shot of mouthwash.
Bit of salt on the side.
Then snort.
I'll tell you that.
I'm so fucking
right.
ready for the day.
So tequila. Tequila shots. You get the salt with it and stuff, and
A
you're supposed
tequila
to
slammer.
like. Are you supposed to sniff the salt or eat the salt?
You're supposed to
Lick,
lick.
Jen-
Lick the salt, not
Right,
snort it.
Because I did that once. I was in like a nightclub. Someone gave me a
Just,
tequila shot, and they had like a shot of salt as well. They poured it on my hand, and I was like, "Shit, have I got to sniff this?" So like they did it, and then like I just sniffed all the salt off my hands, and everyone was looking at me like, "What the fuck do you think that is?"
Did you time you thought
That
someone
is
was giving you like
fucking
cocaine?
ridiculous.
I know. I was like, "Oh god, that looks
Yeah,
really
but what
bad
worries me
now."
more? Did you not just think, like, you just sniffed it? You didn't know what it was, probably.
In fairness, what's
I thought it was
anyone's
sugar.
immediate reaction to someone
You
putting
thought it
salt?
was sugar.
I thought if you do a tequila shot to take like the bitterness out, you'd do sugar to cut sweetness to combat. But I didn't realize it was even more bitterness with the salt, and I was like, "This is
Yeah.
disgusting."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
lime or lemon that's supposed to like take out.
Yeah,
the
but why would you
Yeah,
make
the
it worse?
The
with
lemon
salt?
neutralizes it.
I don't get it, but
It's because the
That-
salt.
that-
It's. I think it's because the salt's supposed to like shock your taste. And then when you take the tequila, you can't initially taste it, and then the lemon stops the aftertaste.
see.
I think.
I quite like tequila
I
shots.
I
You know, I
don't.
don't like Sambuca. It's the worst thing.
I'm going off it. I'm going off Sambuca.
It's rank. I've
That's
never
weird
liked it.
because I'm going on it.
Anyway,
Anyway.
album review.
Did you finish, Denver?
Yeah, that's my review done.
Nice. Aidan.
Yeah, I mean, fuck this fucking piece of shit of an album, and honestly, it can go suck a cock and die.
Oh my god.
Quite frankly, it's one of them things. It's the Marmite thing. The analogy that Will was trying to do earlier, but had too fewer brain cells or
Thank
one
you.
less chromosome.
Well,
to
no one else
actually make
piped
it
up when I did it. I asked
Well, in
what
fairness,
word
no
it
one
was.
ever does, Will. We don't want to interrupt you because, let's face it, you wouldn't stop the Pope pissing up a bush.
Interesting.
I don't
But
get
like
that
I said,
reference.
well, you don't have to. So it's like the Marmite analogy in the sense that there are people that say they don't like Marmite, and then there are people that pretend to like Marmite because it makes them think that they're different, cool, or quirky. And I
I've
feel
made
like
this
that's the
analogy
Weekend
before.
in a nutshell.
Disagree.
Yeah, but I probably have made this analogy before. I've not got many of them. My time is fleeting.
It's interesting.
So yeah, like people that say they like the Weekend are honestly lying to themselves and should just go away. Just leave, get out the door. Here it is.
See?
Here's the door. Get out. Go. Thank you.
Was that your cat?
Anyway, no, I'm
That was
telling
the
everyone
joke.
to
Oh my
get
God,
out.
Joe.
It was the
Yeah, I know,
joke.
but
He's
I
ruined
thought-
the
I
joke,
thought-
and now we've got to cut it.
Ah.
Anyway, the worst one by far, in my opinion, after listening to it several times, and I was like, man, this is a piece of shit of an album. I came to the valid conclusion that I Was Never There was the worst one. Because, and this is weird, because Hurt You is actually in my top 3, which is the other song by Guraffel Affel Einstein. Or whatever that guy's last name is.
What a guy.
But the guy that's featured on both of the songs, and I was like, oh, maybe this will make this one good, because I'd heard Hurt You, and I was like, oh, this one might be good. Wrong. I was wrong. I was so wrong. It's terrible. Everything about it's terrible. And I kind of agree with Denver in the sense that a lot of you could take away the vocals and the music still wouldn't be good. Like, nothing in the background still makes it good at all. And it's a shame, because I'm sure he's in... Excuse me. I'm sure he's...
I disagree quite a lot.
Shut up. Fucking mouth. No, sorry.
I just disagree. I think the production especially was really good.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
And
the
you said none of the
production's
shit
fine.
in the background was good.
Yeah, it isn't good. The song is bad.
But
I'm not talking about the production value of it. I'm talking about how it just is.
Well,
way
when,
that-
when I said production, I mean like the way all the kind of instruments sound.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the instruments sounding bad. They just don't sound well together or in any form that makes up the song.
It's interesting.
It is.
It's wrong, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Will. let's be truthfully honest here about how you always pick these albums. And you think you're
This is the
hot
first
shit.
risky one I've picked
You,
in a
th-
long
you think
while.
you think you're hot shit because you like things that are unconventional.
All right, at least I don't go easy. You just go.
I don't have to go
Oh, yeah.
easy.
Yeah, you
Every
just go,
time
oh,
you
this
go-
will get me a 30.
Yeah, every time.
Plod
When was the
along.
last time I did that?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. You heard
Every
me.
time.
Every time. Every time.
Anyway,
See?
I thought
Name-
the weekend.
name
was
one
like-
time.
Well, this is why I said it was Marmite. I didn't
Like
say that,
Daft
but
Punk.
this is what I
No.
meant. Because
I
you
said
either
it.
like it or you don't. I didn't think you guys were going to like it, but I wanted you to listen to it
And
anyway.
you are absolutely right because it's terrible.
In your opinion.
No,
I thought-
it just is. Number 3.
Okay.
Number 3rd, the third one. Try Me.
Great.
Yep. I'm just stumped for words. I really didn't think this was going to be as bad as it was because I was like, The Weeknd, that's that guy from Chicken Run that has all them good songs. And like, it
See,
turns
now,
out
now
that
you've made that reference, I have to crop in the other joke.
there's no way that you can't. It was like the best part.
Yeah, keep it in. Just don't cut it at all. I don't think it needs
Just,
cut
just
anything.
keep it as the fucking mess
Don't
that
cut
it
it.
was.
Last episode was cut everything. This episode is keep everything in.
Second
Great.
one.
Yeah, so second one was actually a toss-up between two. Not because they were good, but because one of them I'd heard more than the other one. And if anything, it kind of made me like it less. So call out your name. Call out my name.
Yep.
Calling names was my second favourite. I personally don't condone name calling.
Is that the joke?
There's no joke here.
Right.
Only Joe's.
Calling people names is mean.
He wants us to call out his name though.
No, your name.
Call out.
I mean,
name.
there's a song by who the fuck did it?
Dappy.
Yeah, that was the one. Nada. No one? Alright. We should start doing that as a new high five. It's like someone does nada, and if no one replies nah, then like you're lonely.
So lonely.
But number one was hurt you. Because if I ever find the Weeknd, I will hurt him. That's not true, and it's not a threat. Please don't hurt me.
Oh god, I actually put hurt me.
Please don't hurt me, Mr. Weeknd.
I'm sorry, Mr. Weeknd.
Please, Mr. Weeknd, don't hurt me.
I wonder what his hair looks like when he runs.
It'll be like the main guy from Chicken Run.
Chicken.
Actually,
yeah.
what was it? Was he bald? Or was it a woman?
I
It
can't
was a
remember.
woman,
Oh, it was a woman, so it wouldn't have been bald. Well, can't be.
What?
Can't be.
but he wore that little green hat, didn't she?
Don't lie. There are,
Yeah.
there are no main women.
When she took off that little green beanie that
Fucking that's cut.
No, that goes on well with Joe and his women
In
insulting.
fairness, it does. It really does.
It was a joke.
But yeah, I had a fairly strong disliking towards this album, just because all the songs were there. He cheated his way through for it being an album as opposed to an EP by slapping the same song on the end but a cappella, which is just
It's such a
I feel like
cheap
he
doesn't
move.
doesn't choose.
It's such a
It
cheap
probably-
move just to get on album
it
review.
is a cheap move. Like he
It
just wants the
is.
publicity that we give him, and quite frankly, that's disgusting.
Disgusting.
All right.
I think it's ratings time.
Yeah, I think it is because I'm in a spiral. I can't help.
Yes.
Should we do the ratings?
Well, hit the ratings.
6.5.
5.
2.
2.5.
I mean, that was expected, to be fair.
So what we on, boys?
16. Exactly
Wow.
the same as the last album.
Wow.
Really?
What was it?
what was
Neck
the last
deep.
album?
Neck deep.
Ah, yes.
Fucking hell, that feels like ages ago.
It was fucking ages ago.
Fucking hell.
Fuck. Oh shit, the bed.
Shit, the bed.
In which
Shit,
case, I'm probably going to hit us with
You-
one of the biggest.
You know the
The
theme's
big-
still on, right?
Yeah, the biggest curveball of the century.
Curveball. I'm ready for it.
Because basically, I went on one of them Google things. You know, I did a Google,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, you know, bestest albums that will give me a 30 but under 30 minutes. Was what I
Right.
typed in
That's
exactly.
it. What albums will give me a 30? And
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like,
sorry, you
but
still have
what
to
is a
pick.
30?
So this is the last short album.
This is
isn't
the
it?
last short album. And anyway, all the stuff that came up on there was like, you know how we were talking earlier about the classic bands that had they threw a lot of shit at the wall kind of thing. So like, look at all these albums we have, and it's like, oh, this is a must listen to album. It's like
Yeah.
Nirvana or some
It's
shit
like
like
when we
that.
did the must listen to Linkin Park album. We're like,
Yeah.
I should have picked the other one. This is horrible.
it was just like that. There was one album I found, Simon and Garfunkel, and it was
what?
Time, Rosemary and Sage was the album, under 30 minutes. Quickly listen to it. The final song on the album, I'm not even fucking with you, is the Christmas Carol Silent Night, but with the 7 o'clock news playing under it. I am not joking. Like
They were
like,
a big band, like
they
as
were a
well.
huge band. They're like the biggest. And it's terrible. I was like, how is this even on here? Are they making a statement like Green Day did? And if so, how many people cared? Like people didn't care about Green Day.
I mean,
Triggered.
But anyway, so I flicked through, and it sent me on, all these albums, all terrible. Like I listened to the vast majority of them. My Spotify history is a fucking mess. With all these just terrible albums that popped up. But then, while randomly flicking through old people that I used to listen to, I found this bald guy.
It's
Is it my
Pitbull.
boss?
And it's not Pitbull, it's Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
No, it's Mr. 305. No, it's Lil Chico. No, it's none of them people because they're all
Oh
the
my
same.
god.
Chico.
It's but his last name is Wells. So the
Okay.
artist is Tyrone Wells, and the album's called "Lift Me Up."
How do you spell Tyrone?
23 Tyrone.
Okay.
What's it called? Lift Me Up.
Lift Me Up. He kind of looks like that bald porn star
Oh
guy.
my god. Oh, what, Johnny? What?
Yeah, yeah. Looks a bit like him.
I don't like how quickly I like that springs to mind.
Yeah, I don't know how you knew him so quick, but fair enough.
Oh, this is like, wait, where is this album? Oh, it's like his newest one.
Is it? Oh, nice.
Why did you used to listen to him?
I didn't. I found him through people I used to listen to.
Oh.
I weirdly clicked on Ron Pope because I wanted to listen to A Drop in the Ocean again.
I'm interested.
Could I forgot that
That's
song
cool.
existed?
Yeah, I did as well. That's why I found it. And then after that, I found my soulmate and possibly half brother, Tyrone Wells.
Oh, now I have to open Apple Music to find out what genre it is.
It's rap. Something wrong, Joe?
I'm fine.
Okay, cool.
Looks like an acoustic thing to me.
Well, that's kind of where the recommended things come from.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not acoustic. I was hoping it was
Hell
some
yeah.
dance track.
He looks like an acoustic man.
Kinda is.
So yeah, this is what we're working with.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm quite interested actually. I've never
yeah,
heard
I
of
am
this
because
at
that's
all.
what I mean. As far as I'm aware, none of us have heard of him. So
So have you even heard this album?
no, not at all. Hadn't even clicked on it. Just saw it, clicked on all of his albums, saw which one was less than half an hour long, picked it, didn't think any more of it, went to sleep that night. Next day, woke up, went to work, came back, did a
Died.
bit of art on the computer, and then Denver came online. I played with him for a bit, and went to bed. A week passed doing this. And now Tyrone Wells has been entered into the world. How many monthly listeners does he get? Fucking hell, like nearly, over 500,000.
I was gonna say,
Good for
half-
you, Tyrone. Fuck.
I haven't even
I think his
listened to him
song's
yet.
got 17 million.
See,
I'm
I've
the-
not listened to him, but just by looking at him, I love this guy.
His
He looks like
genre
an
is
absolute lad.
singer-songwriter.
So
good for
it's
him.
acoustic, basically.
I can imagine him sat in a coffee shop.
His genre is that he is a singer-songwriter.
Yes.
That's his genre.
Yes.
That's not his profession.
It's the
That's
same
his
genre
genre.
as Ben Howard.
So it's acoustic stuff.
Fantastic.